morning. This is another edition of Valdez Speaks. Yes, I don't have my contacts in because I've been wearing them for 2 days. Not straight, but right now they need to breathe. So, this edition of Valdez Speaks is about the Samaritan woman. As you can hear, coffee is being made behind the iPad, so that'll be amazing. And I feel like the Lord's really led me to talk about restoration and all this other stuff and really be more about Yay Jesus on YouTube. So we'll see how this goes. Last time there was 2 views. I don't really care. Just saying. So, yeah. So when he's talking about with the Samaritan woman, it's like, okay, Jesus really shouldn't be doing this, but he's doing this anyway. So he kind of asks her, he begins to kind of make this kind of rabbinic, he's like, give me a drink. Something basic. It's just like, okay, there's something wrong with this woman. It's noontime. She's out. She's going to fetch water at noon. That's not right. That's not normal. So that's purposely put in there at the top of 6, at the end of 6. It was about the 6th hour. It's about noontime. She is somebody that the other women don't want to be around. And for Jewish women, that's like, oh, okay, now this is huge because Samaritans and Jews don't get along. This woman doesn't get along with the other Samaritan women. This is a problem. Jesus is going to solve this out. So they begin to go back and forth about water and living water. Jesus is beginning to present himself, and the woman isn't getting it. She's like, are you greater than Jacob? Now, they both claim Jacob as their forefathers, and the difference here is that the Samaritans syncretized their worship with different rituals and different stuff, because according to Jews, and actually according to what's believed in ancient Near East culture, Jews and Samaritans are very close cousins. Samaritans believe that Mount Gerizim. Somebody correct me in the comment section. That is where worship should be, and Jews believe that it is in Jerusalem, and they're God's people. So, it goes back and forth, and he's like, you know what? I am the living water. Whoever drinks of the water that I give him, that I provide, will never thirst again. Okay, so you're greater than Jacob. And so he decides, you know what? I'm gonna show you who I am. Go call your husband. She answers him, I have no husband. And he's like, aha, yeah, you've had 5. And the one you're with right now, he's just someone on the side right now. Jesus calls her out. And she's like, what is going on now? I don't know. Nobody else knows this. It's just talked about in rumors. So going on in 20 to 24, and that's where I'm going to stop, because there's more to this story that goes on, but I just really want to focus in on 6 to 24. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and you people say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus said to her, woman, believe me. An hour is coming when neither in this mountain nor in Jerusalem you will worship the Father. Jerusalem, I can say that. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. But an hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For such people the Father seeks to be his worshippers. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. So she's beginning to evade this whole situation, like, okay, you guys say this, because he called her out. Jesus called her out and called out what she was doing wrong with her life. In the 4 Gospels, Jesus often calls people out, usually his own disciples, a lot, and frequently, and with a lot of sass. But in this particular point, he's talking to the Samaritan woman. He's like, this is what's wrong with you. You are not married, and you are shacking up. And she's like, okay, hold on, let's now evade the whole thing. You Jews worship in Jerusalem. You guys say that's where we gotta worship. He's like, it doesn't even matter. I have come. And what matters most is that you worship God the Father in spirit and in truth, that you mean your worship. What matters most to me now is your heart. What matters to God now is your heart. Doesn't matter what background you're from, what you've done. What matters most now is what you bring forward. You can be a drug dealer, you can be a drug addict, sex addict, whatever. You can be gay, whatever, whoever. What matters is that you earnestly seek him, and he restores. At the end of the entire chapter, She is convinced, and she tells her entire town, you need to come see this man who's called me out and has told me everything I've done. Of course, then his disciples come back and they're like, ah! But that is how the end of the story happens. Because Jesus took time out. This has been episode 2. Peace out. Much love.